for the race leaders, now just over 2 miles to go. 2 miles for Pastor Maldonado to try and pull something out of the bag. 2 miles for Bruno Senna to hang on to what will be a famous victory on the streets of Monte Carlo.
Well, he's really withstood a huge amount of pressure. The great start, the opening up of an enormous lead, piling on the fastest laps, but then seeing his lead shrink again to nothing and soaking up some very, very strong late pressure from Pastor Maldonado. A hugely spirited drive from the Venezuelan driver, making sure that Bruno's result here has been hard-earned. He hasn't got it quite yet. Yet again, another back marker to negotiate before they reach the checkered flag, potentially.
Jerome D'Ambrosio just ahead of them as they go through the tunnel. And out into the daylight once again, and Maldonado too far back to try and make a late lunge under braking. That could have been his last chance.
Well, D'Ambrosio moves out of the way. Bruno Senna now through to back. 2 or 3 corners more to just reel off in a nice steady fashion. Well, not too steady by the look of it, but this is a race win that really has been hard-earned, and it's going to earn him a lovely place in Formula One, because this is what you need to do to get your place on that grid.
Isn't it just? They shout the name of Senna from the rooftops here in Monaco, but today it's not Ayrton, it's Bruno Senna that wins the feature race in Monte Carlo, and you can see how much that means to Ayrton Senna's nephew, Bruno Senna, for a second time a winner in GP2. And oh dear, what's happened to car number 20, Mike Conway, as we celebrate a Bruno Senna victory? Pastor Maldonado coming second. What's happened to Mike Conway at the Nouvelle chicane?
Well, he spun it at the chicane. He's not made it to the checkered flag. This is on the very last lap. Well, I'd like to see a replay of that, how you can end up there, but you can easily lose the rear end of the car on the brakes. But that means that Karun Chandok, the car we're looking at right now, the second of the iSport cars, 2 iSport cars on the podium.
Unbelievable. An incredible finish as Javier Villa just holds on to 14th place, I think, there right at the end. But there you can see the iSport team celebrating a first and a third, and an unlikely third place for Karun Chandok. And Mike Conway has got to walk back to the pits when he should have been coasting home and onto the podium. Down to the Nouvelle chicane he came. Oh, and he got a tap. He got a tap from behind by Javier Villa. Oh, that is absolutely tragic. Such cruel luck for the British driver. And, well, in all honesty, what is Javier Villa doing? A lap down, lunging through at the Nouvelle chicane there. That's sheer stupidity.
That is just ridiculous. But, you know, Conway there just in amongst those back markers that could so easily have tripped up the first 2 in this race. It is potentially a lottery when you come in amongst those back markers, and I really feel for Mike Conway, because he did a good job today, to be honest.
Did absolutely nothing wrong. Neither did Pastor Maldonado once he got off the line, but he got off the line far too slowly, because Bruno Senna beat him into the first turn and held that lead and has scored a famous victory here in Monaco. He'll take the champagne. He's your race winner. There's no way back to the pit lane just yet for this man, Bruno Senna, because the winning cars stop on the track here in Monaco. And like his uncle did in Formula One, Bruno Senna is going to climb out of a cockpit in front of the royal box as a race winner. And a fantastic race victory. Got off the line so well and held on despite great pressure. And what's that, a bow and acknowledgement to his teammates there. Pastor Maldonado will come over, I'm sure, and offer his congratulations. They fought out a fabulous battle. He so loves this. The comparisons will be made, the headlines will be written. Senna wins again in Monaco. But I don't know, is Bruno the sort of man that will be thinking of Ayrton at the moment, will be thinking of what happened in history and what this means to the Senna name?
Well, you know, it's because it's because of his uncle that he is here. And, you know, he's done a fantastic job to live up to the family name. He wouldn't want to actually get a place in Formula One just because of his name. He wants to earn it. His target is to be in Formula One, as is this man's Karun Chandok. His target is to be in Formula One, but on credit. And, you know, if you win here in Monaco under pressure like this, beating the kind of field that he has beaten here today, he earns it, no matter what his name.
Big hugs all around. Just to tell you that Mike Conway has finished 8th. He might not have made it to the checkered flag, but he is classified 8th. So the good news for Mike Conway is that he starts, if he can have any good news about missing out on the podium, he starts in pole position for the sprint race, which you can see later on this afternoon here on ITV Sport. After qualifying for Formula 1, Mike Conway will be on pole, but has missed out on a podium here today. And this is the race classification. Bruno Senna wins from Pastor Maldonado. Karun Chandok, who returned to point scoring for the first time in Turkey. He missed out in the previous 5 races. Comes third. Adrian Vaez with BCN finishes 4th. Alvaro Parent back in the points again for 5th. Roland Rodriguez and Ho-Pen Tung, their first points of the season. And Mike Conway confirmation, a lap down after being punted by Javier Villa, comes home in 8th place. Villa 14th, and Ben Hanley down in 6th, another one of the lapped drivers. And then we lost Felipe, Grosjean, Pantano, Boemi, and Grosjean, Pantano, and Boemi. That really does mix up the championship as well. Adam Carroll we lost in that incident towards the end. Kobayashi and Petrov right at the start, and Valerio all on his own. And there you are, your race winner, Bruno Senna, waiting to walk up the steps and receive his trophy, the winner's trophy, which I'm sure will have pride of place on the mantelpiece back home.
Well, he knows the way. He's seen the TV clips of his uncle doing exactly the same thing many times over. And, you know, history repeating itself, it's a lovely thing to see. But, you know, this guy has deserved it. This is probably the most important race of this guy's life, because from now on, no one can question whether he's got the talent or not.
And also mentally, as Pastor Maldonado receives his trophy, a great return to racing after the incident with the dog in Turkey when he hit an animal and was forced out of the race. But that could have been so much more serious than it was. The dog obviously was killed in it, but there could have been a nasty accident to Bruno Senna had he have hit it on another part of the car.
Sure. A potentially life-threatening accident, high speed, hugely disappointing when you're having a great race. To lose the lead, joint lead of the championship in a weekend and end up with nothing. Well, he's bounced back. He's got fastest lap of the race. He's won the race. He's answered a few questions, and he deserves it.
He'll remember this moment for the rest of his life. Whatever happens from here on in, Bruno Senna is a winner in Monaco. You might not be able to overtake Chris, but it's a race that always produces incident. It's mixed up the championship with Bruno Senna now 2 points behind Giorgio Pantano. It's game on, and another winner in GP2 racing. We are seeing a wide open season. The champagne awaits the drivers. The headlines will all be written about Bruno Senna, a new legend here in Monaco.
It certainly is game on, and it's madness down here with all the champagne. Precious points have been won here in the feature race. Bruno Senna taking the 10 in his bid for the championship. All the rest after the break. Welcome back to the GP2 feature race here on the streets of Monte Carlo, and it's smiles all round for iSport and a very famous victory for Bruno Senna. What a great occasion for you and the family.
Yeah, it's very hard to comment. It's a very emotional victory here. Obviously everyone wants to win here, and I wanted to win here a lot. So today everything went perfect for us. The race was so hard with all the events, so we got the track blocked and everything, but I kept my head together. The team did a perfect job. They gave me such a great car, so consistent, and I just put the laps in, and fortunately I got Maldonado at the start, and that's it. That's the result.
Well, talking at the start, let's take a look at it. You had a fantastic start, and you did take past Maldonado. We're going to take a look at it. Talk us through it.
It was a good drive. I had a very good traction out of the line. I had a practice start yesterday in testing, and I was pretty confident on what I could do in the start. After that, I just defended my line a little bit, and I was just putting laps on. I could build a good gap from Pastor, but with all the events, I lost all the gap that I put together. Obviously, I used my tires a lot by putting laps together. I wasn't expecting the circuit to get blocked, but it worked well, and I'm very, very happy.
It looked like you had some problems with traffic as well.
I had some trouble with traffic. I think it's hard to see in the mirrors here. You're focusing not to crash into the wall, and sometimes a car comes much quicker behind you and you don't even realize it. But fortunately, the flags worked well here for me, and I didn't lose much time. Obviously, Pastor didn't have much trouble because he was following me, so he got past too. But well, I can only thank the team and everyone too for my victory.
Well, let's take a look at what happened when all the cars were parking up when Giorgio Pantano and Sebastian Buemi hit each other, and you had to come round the outside, didn't you?
Well, the team told me that the circuit wasn't blocked on the left, so because I was lapping these people, I just decided to go on their left. But then obviously they turned the car, and I had to wait a little bit. I was a bit afraid of getting a penalty for overtaking the yellow flags, even though the cars were stopped. So the team asked the race direction, and they said there was no problem because the cars were stopped, and they had nowhere to go. So that's how it went. I wasn't getting any positions anyway.
Well, congratulations. You did a very, very good job. Well done.
Thank you, Bruno.
Well, we're going to take a look.